any trouble.
There you go. Okay. Okay, so how does fiber work? Fiber stimulates the release of intestinal hormones to promote a feeling of satisfaction earlier in a meal. Okay, so this is how you can feel full faster, especially like as Ariel said, if you're chewing your food well, it's even going to help more. Fiber also helps you eat less and helps your body break down fat instead of storing it. Good news. Another helpful hint for us to control weight. All right, so what is fiber? Fiber is actually undigestible carbohydrate. If you look at flaxseed, you'll see there's about 7 grams of carbohydrate in flaxseed. And then if you look down under the category of total carbohydrates, you'll see fiber and sugar on a food label. If you look there, it says 7 grams of fiber. Okay, this is per tablespoon. So for every gram of fiber, you bind a gram of carbohydrate. You don't even absorb it at all. You're not getting any carbohydrate at all from that flax, but you're getting a humongous benefit of the fiber. Okay, very interesting. So that you don't have to even count the carbohydrate in there if you're concerned. If you were to count, if you would say you were type 1, you actually counted the carbohydrate in there and gave yourself an insulin shot accordingly, you would end up actually going low. So I know we don't have any type 1s here right now, but if we were, we'd be covering that in much more detail. All right. So undigested carbohydrate passes through the digestive system without causing a rise in blood sugar. Okay, it's going to bind a gram of carbohydrate along with it, so you're going to have better blood sugar control. Fiber fills our stomach and stimulates receptors to tell our brain we've had a sufficiency, we can stop eating, and fiber loves water. So how much water do we need to drink a day?
4 liters.
2 liters, 2.7 liters. Okay, so for women, 2.7 liters, or for men, 3.7 liters, or if you want to count it in cups, somewhere between 6 and 10. Okay?
I just drink 6 of these or more.
Perfect. That's plenty.
I don't want to count that stuff. I just carry these.
Well, and that's what you do. And if you do have trouble getting in all the water that you need, you can carry a bottle like this. Okay, so your goal is to get 4 of these in a day. You can put 4 rubber bands around, and every time you finish a bottle, you take 1 off. Mm-hmm. And if by the time you go to bed all 4 are gone, then you met your goal for the day. Mm-hmm.
I don't have that problem.
It doesn't sound like any of you have that problem. That's good. All right. Fiber loves water. We're going to understand that better in just a minute. So there are 2 types of fiber. You have soluble fiber and insoluble fiber. What we're going to focus on mostly is soluble fiber. Your insoluble fiber is like your Metamucil, okay, and what you find in breads and grains and things like this. Soluble fiber absorbs water. It forms a gel inside the gut and slows absorption of sugars into your bloodstream. This then results in lower blood sugar levels and lower insulin levels, which results in lower insulin resistance and less fat stored. Does that sound good?
That's the Metamucil?
No.
No, that's the, okay, go over
That's
that
everything.
again.
So insoluble fiber is like the Metamucil.
Okay.
We are going to focus mostly on soluble because that's where what we're trying to deal with, that's where the benefits are in the soluble fibers, okay? And so this is going to be in your fruits and in your vegetables, mainly your beans as well, okay? Beans have both. Actually, they all have both, but they're not, the soluble is in a higher quantity in your fruits and vegetables and beans. Okay?
I love bean soup. The blender makes it real easy.
Oh, okay, good. Good. All right. So let's talk about water, the power of water. The foods listed here, fruits, vegetables, cooked beans, and other legumes, as well as whole grains that are cooked with water, not your flours and things where you're baking it. These all contain at least 60% water. Okay? Water, remember, contains how many calories?
0.
Oh, 0.
0.
All right. Fiber contains 0 calories as well. It's not absorbed. All right. So these are the types of foods then that are going to help us control the blood pressure and the diabetes and the weight. So question. We've already looked at 2 different types. Is all fiber created equal?
No.
It's not. Okay? So what we're looking for is the high fiber, high water content foods. Again, fruits, vegetables, cooked beans are what's going to be nice and high in those. So we're going to look at some foods, and you're going to tell me, are they high water, high fiber content, or not? And I think you'll get the picture as we go along. All right? So here we have cooked brown rice, okay, versus piece of bread. Which one is a high water, high fiber?
Rice. Yeah. Yeah.
Right, because we cook it water, so it absorbs all that water, right? Where the bread, we added water when we were making that bread, but what happened to it?
You baked it out.
Baked it out.
Baked it out. Correct. All right. So here we have organic corn tortillas. I say organic because all your corn needs to be organic because of the GMO that it has. So make sure that any corn product that you eat is organic. All right, so here we have organic corn tortillas and then broccoli. Which one is going to be high water, high fiber content?
Broccoli.
Yeah.
Correct. Broccoli.
You state that corn doesn't,
Needs to be organic because of the GMO, yes.
the GMOs in rice, for instance, crossed the barrier, and there isn't such a thing as no GMO rice.
Okay.
Because they raise it, but just like I experienced a long time ago, on an island out in the middle of Lake, Michigan, they raised pure grain.
Mm-hmm.
They could do it there because it was far enough away that the bees and everything did not carry the pollen across to make it. But otherwise, rice, for instance, there isn't such a thing as no GMO rice.
I'll look into that. I wasn't aware of that necessarily being the case. I know there's arsenic in our rice and Lundberg rice.
Arsenic?
Yes.
The poison?
Yes.
Why is that in rice?
I don't know.
Let me tell you a little bit about arsenic in Washington State.
Okay. Real brief, because we have to make it through.
They used arsenic sprays for years, and I used it to get rid of some pesky pheasants. The pheasants got fat on it. They were used to it, and I found out that the humans were too, because I drank some arsenic one time and had no effect on it. You can become somewhat immune to it. Take a big quantity to do, yes.
That's scary.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know it. I was a kid at the time, but it was spray instead of water.
So what I understand, just to finish my thought on the rice, is Lundberg rice. Lundberg, is that how you say it? Yeah.
Lundberg?
Yeah, Lundberg rice is one of the better sources for rice.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will look into and see how much GMO is in our rice. I'll check that out. And they're supposed to be labeling. They were supposed to start labeling this month. And I'm not sure what the update is on that, but I haven't actually seen any labeling. And it's going to be on one of those codes where you actually put your phone over it, and then it will tell you whether it has GMO or not. But I haven't seen any of that, so I don't know if there was a specific date in October, but it was supposed to start. I have to go back and read the literature on it. But
why don't they just put it on the label?
Because they think we might stop buying stuff if it's labeled straight out.
Exactly.
Straight out. Okay, so we better move on. The power, sorry, I'm just reading the slide here, but here we have beans. All right. And granola.
Oh.
No, the beans would have to
Beans
be,
in the
but
water.
it's almost a toss-up. Almost. Not
Okay.
quite.
So I put this in here on purpose because people really think of granola as being, wow, just a fabulous food, right?
Not necessarily.
But you really need to kind of think of your granola as a dessert. I actually have an article on, not one that I wrote. I printed it off from someone else who wrote it. Now, I
Somebody
make
eats granola.
great granola, but let me tell you, it is one of the highest density cereals that we make. So if you're trying to lose weight or if you're trying to control carbohydrates, let me assure you, granola is not your friend. It's something that would be great if you're trying to gain weight or if you're expending a lot of energy, like doing marathons or, well above and beyond our mile to 3 miles a day, okay?
Wow.
So
Did not know
granola
that.
is not going to be your best friend. And even though you add the milk to it possibly, or you might eat it dry as well, it's not going to be much better to cook the oatmeal. In fact, you can do the experiment. You can just look at, you don't add a lot of water to granola and then you bake it so whatever you did add bakes out. And so it's going to be the same as what's on the package. So you can look at an oatmeal label and it'll tell you how many carbohydrates are in that. Now when you cook it into actual oatmeal, that fourth of a cup that you might have added now is going to become, almost a cup, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're adding the water to it, 3/4 of a cup maybe. All right?
Mm-hmm.
That granola, it doesn't happen like that. It stays in the concentrated form. So anyway, yes.
I've actually learned to like raw oats with like apple juice on it or something. Is that
It's going to be the exact same thing.
as the granola?
You need to cook it with the water added because you're that's what's going to help. You're going to feel much fuller with a smaller amount of that than you would just your muesli, which is what you're talking about, the raw oats with the fruit and the juices and things like this. And you add the juice and you're getting a double whammy of
Calories.
calories and glycemic effect.
I might be a little different, but I've taken raw oatmeal granola and cook it.
Yes. And then suddenly it would be fine.
Maybe that's why I'm gaining weight, though. No, I haven't eaten much. I am a little of that, but not much.
If you cooked it enough to it was oatmeal, then it would be fine.
So you could take granola, cook it, and it would be okay? Just
As long as it doesn't have a whole bunch of sugar on it. Is it your own or is it commercial? And then you have to consider the amount of.
Yeah, you could.
Yes.
But anyway.
Yes, you can make it yourself, and then you would be in control of how much sugar is added. But there's a lot of sugar added to commercial granolas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. And sweeten them up.
Sorry to blow your funness with breakfast, but yeah, it's not going to be your best friend, and you want to know the truth because then you're free to make a choice, right? All right, so here's another one. How about this nice sweet potato or a high fiber bar?
Sweet potato any day of the week. Those are good.
All right. All right. But you will see a lot of people eating the high fiber bars thinking they're doing all the good, right?
Read the ingredients.
Yeah. This one is cinnamon raisin bar. It was the healthiest one I could find.
Well,
yes, and the highest in fiber, but a lot of them have like 6 grams of fiber or something, and then they're like cinnamon roll or cheesecake or,
And it's got 12 grams of fiber, so what does a sweet potato have, I wonder?
For a 3-ounce sweet potato, obviously that's going to be much more than 3 ounces. It's probably more like 6. You're going to have about 4 grams of fiber.
Interesting. Okay.
All right. So again, neither water nor fiber have any calories. So the more water and fiber foods, contain, the fewer calories they have. Okay? If you kickstart your meals with high fiber, high water content foods, they will fill you up and you will have less room for the higher calorie foods. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So eat high fiber, high water content foods. Can you read it? First.
Mm-hmm.
First.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. All right. Now we're going to pause our regular program here for a commercial. All right. This is a very neat book. It's put out by Full Plate Living. It's a pocket-sized book. I have one right here. You can see it. All right. We highly recommend that you purchase a copy of this book. It is $14.25. You can look online. That's the price.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a lot of money for a little book, but it's valuable. You can carry it around. You can put it in your purse or your shirt pocket, and it will tell you, I don't know if you'll be able to see that online, but the foods that are in blue are your high water, high fiber content foods. Okay? Are you okay?
Oh, I'm fine.
Okay. The ones that are in white are just, they might be high fiber, but they don't have the high water, high fiber content that they're looking for. Okay? So this makes it very easy. It takes the guesswork out of figuring out, well, is this a good food to have or not so good food to have? Interestingly enough, what about avocados?
Yes.
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 They're very high water. They're very high fiber. They are still high fat. But unlike the nuts and seeds that don't have the water, avocados have that nice filling effect because of the water content and fiber content, but there's still nice healthy fat.
And they're just good.
And they're just
Yeah.
plain good.
Just good.
That's right. That's right. So if you would like this book, it is $4.25. You can purchase it today, or we can ship it to you today. Of course, there would be a little added for shipping.
14.
14? What did I just say?
14.
Oh, I'm sorry. $14.25 is the total for the little book.
Wow, that's a
And
So where does watermelon come in that book? Is that going to be good?
it's going to be a high water, high fiber food for sure.
Okay.
There's not much else there, but unfortunately it tends to be very high glycemic. So if you're battling with any sugar dysregulation, whether it be diabetes, prediabetes, or hyperglycemia, then it's not going to be the best choice, even though it's humongous in water content and fiber as well. But yeah, high glycemic, unfortunately. So get the blood sugar under control first, and then we can start enjoying some of these higher glycemic foods. All right? Now we'll continue with our regular program. All right.
maybe. Would any of you like to look at it?
Oh, I think I have that.
Yeah.
Yes, I have that one.
Mom has
Yeah.
that one.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we want to learn how to eat for health, how to kickstart our regular meals. One of your email assignments that you didn't get was to write down one of your typical meals that you would eat. All right, so now I'm going to give you several examples of how to kickstart our traditional meals, and then we're going to work through yours. So as we're talking, you might want to just jot down a typical meal that is like your favorite meal that you just can't wait to delve into. And then we're going to see if we need to give it a little kickstart and how we're going to go about doing that, okay? So we're just going to start with a little fun here. This is a typical baked potato. It has the butter and the sour cream and topped with a few chives, all right? This particular food, potato, the medium-sized potato with the skin, if you ate the skin along with the potato, has 4 grams of fiber. All right? Now, if we want to give that potato a nice little kickstart, then how about adding some chili beans? 1 cup of chili beans. Maybe you could even add a tablespoon of salsa to it. If you did, just the beans, that would give you 16 grams of fiber, 12 in the beans and 4 in the potato. Add a salsa, a tablespoon of salsa, and you would add another fiber gram.
How much beans is there?
1 cup. 1
That's
cup.
a lot of food.
Yes.
Yeah, you're going to be full after that.
There you go. All right. So what about cream of tomato soup? That's very nice on a cold, wintry, blustery day, right? Oh, have a nice bowl of tomato soup. One of my favorites. 2 grams of fiber. So what can we do to kickstart that? Well, we could add a half a cup of barley to it. That would give us 3 more grams. And we could add a half a cup of frozen vegetables. I had a lady come in who loves soups. Basically, she ate soup for either lunch or breakfast, lunch or dinner every single day. But she was, her lifestyle was very fast, and she had high blood pressure. So we needed to reduce the sodium content, and we need to still make it easy and increase the fiber content. So we actually did this, like to her tomato soup. We added beans as well in other soups. But with just adding the barley and the vegetables, you have 9 grams of fiber added. Now, if you added a half a cup of beans to that, then you would be up to 15 grams. Okay.
Wow.
I whiz up the beans and then add some tomato soup to it.
There you go. That sounds
That's
good
the way
too.
I do it.
Excuse me. Okay. All right. What about oatmeal?
Mhm.
Oatmeal itself, cooked with water,
Mhm.
4 grams of fiber. And then if we were to kickstart it with adding 1 cup of berries, remember we already talked about the benefits of berries, and then a 1/4 cup of walnuts. Now, walnuts, again, are not the high fiber, high water content food, but they are going to add some fiber as well, and a nice balance to that oatmeal, where if you just have oatmeal and berries, you might have more of a glycemic effect than you want. The nuts, the fats in the nuts are going to help slow it down, so that's why I've added the nuts. So with that, then you have 12 grams of fiber. All right, you have a
How
question?
about raisins?
Raisins? Okay, let's talk about raisins. How much water are in raisins?
Well, they're dried up.
They're dried up. So dry and water, do they go together?
No.
They don't, right? So the water has been removed.
But I reconstitute the raisin.
Okay, so that would be fine. And also, if you don't have diabetes, it's not going to be or high glucose levels. Remember, if you have prediabetes, you do have some dysregulation of glucose. So if your glucose was greater than 100, even the raisins reconstituted, unless you can get them as plump as grape, is not going to be probably your best choice.
So
but if you don't have that situation, your blood sugar levels are normal, then the raisins would be fine.
So you could just use red grapes, couldn't you?
You could.
And just chop them up and stick them on there.
Correct.
Okay.
Just like berries.
Just like berries. The berries have a higher amount of fiber,
Why?
the seeds.
And each seed has a cell around it on those raspberries. I mean,
Yes.
wow.
Yes.
They're really high.
And every seed has what are called progoitrins, which actually help your thyroid as well.
Really?
Oh.
Yes.
Now, in your example, you've cooked the oatmeal, and then it looks like it's baked again.
It was all baked together.
So is it okay to take already constituted oatmeal and then bake it? Which
Yes.
gets the water out again?
Yes, but in this particular, well, it's not going to get as much. It's still going to stay nice and fluffy, even when you bake it.
Okay.
You're just baking it to kind of get the flavors combined there, and maybe keep it warm, as would be my case, until we're actually ready to eat.
Would it be okay? I just throw a small handful of walnuts in with my rice.
Good.
Sure.
Good. Yeah, that'd be great. So if you're adding a lot of walnuts, more than a quarter cup a day, that could easily
increase my weight.
correct.
Yeah,
A quarter cup is what we need, or 1 ounce.
I doubt if I use that much.
Okay. All right. All right. Oh, anyone know what this is? It's a plate. So we're going to help you understand the best way for weight loss. And this is going to tie into just what we were talking about with the nuts. All right. So if you have a plate and you divide the plate in half, so you just make a line down the center of the plate. All right. So it's a 50-50 plate now. All right. Then you add another line across the plate. So now you have 4 quadrants, hopefully fairly equal. I'm not the best artist in the world. So if you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to control diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, even needing more energy, all right, what you want to do is fill your plate with 75% with foods that are high fiber, high water content. Okay, 75%. So 3 quadrants need to be high water, high fiber. Then you have a quarter left. Your nuts would fall into that quarter. Okay, if you were to have meat, if you were to have bread, if you were to have anything that doesn't qualify for the others with the other 75, then it would go into that category. Okay, what about baked beans? Are they high fiber, high water? They're not.
They're not.
They're not.
People put
It's
sugar
because-
in baked beans.
Yes, because of everything that's added, and then it's concentrated because it's baked down.
Baked down.
So baked beans would actually go into this category. Okay. That would be the one exception. Maybe not the one, but that would be one of the exceptions for beans.
So if you wanted, if like what I had last night, I had a salad, but I put my walnuts on my salad.
Yeah, very good.
Okay, and then I had spinach, and then I had an apple.
Okay.
Is it okay?
Yeah. Your walnuts here. Everything else you listed was here.
Yeah.
Your eggs, your cheese, your meat,
Everything.
your tofu. What about tofu?
I haven't got that yet.
High water content.
It's high water content. What's the fiber?
None.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. There isn't any fiber in it. It would go in this category as well. Okay. All right.
I would like a good recipe for chili for tofu.
For chili?
For chili.
Ooh,
Can it be done?
Yes. We just made some in the Abundant Health Now
Okay.
last Sunday.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'll want that recipe.
I can share it with you. You don't have to wait.
Okay.
You just have to remind me. Send me an email.
Okay.
By the time this class is done, I'm sure I will have forgotten. So send me an email. I'll know your email works that way.
Okay.
All right, moving on. Now we're going to look at powering up traditional meals, okay? That would be pretty traditional. Where's that going to fit on the plate? What is it, first of all? Pizza. Pizza. Okay.
With cheese.
Most likely that crust is not whole grain.
No.
Okay. Even if it was, it's dry. Okay. So you just have cheese pizza here. All right. Now, a lot of people, Americans, they like pizza. Okay. And they like it loaded with cheese.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then we add to the pizza breadsticks. If we go to Pizza Hut, now we're going to have breadsticks and have marinara sauce. How much fiber do you think is in this meal?
Nothing.
Not much.
There's actually some there. You have your tomato sauce, and there is still some in the bread. So it's actually with 3 pieces of pizza, 2 breadsticks, and some marinara sauce. You have 8 grams of fiber. But look at the calories. How many calories?
Wow.
A whole day. A whole day.
1,260.
Wow.
All right. So we're going to kickstart it a little bit. Let's take it down to 2 pieces of pizza, 1 breadstick, and let's add what?
Lots and lots of salad. That's
All
the
right.
buffet.
Okay. And so now and it's going to be a fat-free dressing.
Fat-free
with
dressing.
it. Okay. So what's the fiber content?
Yeah, that's a lot better.
10.
Yeah, that's
All
much
right.
better.
And then how many calories do we
Down
have?
on the calories.
Yeah, woo, that's
Okay.
good.
So we're down to 900 calories.
What if
All
we
right.
just 2 pieces in a salad and leave off the breadstick?
Okay. Well, I didn't go that route. Let's see what else we can do. All right. So we keep 1 piece of pizza. What else? What changes do you see?
Lots more fiber.
Okay.
fruit.
What kind of food? Okay. Fruit.
And water.
Fruit and soup
Soup.
with vegetables and whatever else.
Okay. All right. And barley, right? All right.
Yeah. And the salad.
Yep. And we still have, and we kept the salad. All right. Now we're up to 14 grams of fiber and 590 calories.
That's great.
Now that's doable, right?
Yeah.
You do that, yeah.
Okay.
So
Now
you can
let's,
still go out with your friends, and they can eat the pizza, and you can have a much better meal. Still, the buffet, it's still the buffet, but they can eat the pizza, and you can eat the better things.
there you go.
Okay,
There you
all
go.
right.
All right. So now let's look at the difference between meals 1 and 3. Okay. Number 3 slices of cheese pizza, 2 breadsticks with marinara sauce, 8 grams of fiber, 1,260 calories. Meal 3, only 1 slice of cheese pizza, and then throw in a tossed salad, fat-free dressing, vegetable soup, fruit salad, 14 grams of fiber, and 590 calories. Math whizzes. What's the point difference between those?
Let's cut in half the calories.
Okay, a little more than half.
Mhm.
4 more grams of fiber.
4 more?
8.
It's more than that.
7.
Yeah, something like 7.
6 more
Six-
grams
six
of
grams.
fiber.
We're not math
Okay.
proficients here.
And 670 fewer calories.
Mhm.
All right, I have it written for me. All right, so to improve our health, we want to work up to 40 grams or so of fiber a day. Don't worry if it's more or less. We're actually not even going to count. We're going to focus on adding foods that are high fiber, high water content. As long as you learn those, you can fill your plate with 75% of those. You're naturally going to get all the fiber content that you need. Okay? But if you're filling your plate with 75%, then with Kickstart Foods is basically what we're looking at, what you just ate for the last 10 days, then it should help you. The bottom line is, are you losing weight if that's your goal? Are your blood sugar levels normal if that's your goal? Or blood pressure, are they coming down? Are you meeting your goals, basically? That's the bottom line. If you're not, then eat more of the Kickstart foods. Okay? Make sense?
And don't drink any water with your meal.
It's better to drink your water in between meals. Definitely, so that you're not diluting the digestive juices. However, knowing that your food is going to stay in your stomach for 4 hours, don't wait 4 hours and try to drink all your water beforehand. You're going to have to drink some, while digestion is happening. But maybe an hour after, if you can make it a whole hour. Yeah, an hour after you eat.
If you're like me and have a high heel hernia, you better have some water with your meal or you'll get into real trouble.
Okay. All right.
It'll make you sick.
Right. So, we give the general information and then we personalize in the private consultations. Right. Yes. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's try another one. Anyone like hamburgers?
No. I hate them.
Okay.
Really?
Good for you. Good for you. All right. And this is very much tailored to the typical American, I have to say. So
I haven't eaten one in 30 years.
Okay.
40
All right.
years.
Well, let's talk about it anyway. Okay. something in here is going to help trigger, I'm sure. All right. So what about potato chips? We typically have potato chips or fries with a burger, right?
In a pickle.
Yeah, you got to get a pickle in there too. I don't have that on here. And then we have our cookies, right? Mm-hmm. This is typical American affair. Wouldn't you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. And it's not going to do any favors for our health or for our weight. All right. So in this meal, we have about 4 grams of fiber and 1,365 calories. And we wonder why a third of our nation is obese.
I don't know how I missed out on that because when I was 10, 11, 12, I was a paper boy and I'd feed myself frequently. 25-cent hamburgers.
Okay.
They were a little different than those.
Let's talk about that. You're a paper boy. You're probably on foot.
Oh, yeah, all the time. Or on a bicycle.
Do we need to say much else? Not that you can exercise because we've already addressed that. And if we haven't addressed it, I'm going to be addressing it. You cannot exercise and then eat terrible. But I can tell you that if you are active and you're going, walking from house to house, delivering papers or riding your bike or whatever the case may be, and it's kind of an all-day event, you're definitely more likely to be able to deal with the extra cholesterol and extra fat that might be in these things. But 25-cent hamburger, one, they were probably much smaller. No, you don't think they were these big, gigantic things?
Not back in 1940, 41, 42.
Okay.
They were big, full-sized hamburgers, but they were better quality, way better than anything you can get today.
Okay. No, our meat was probably much better.
Yeah,
all right,
so let's veggies in them were better.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's kickstart that meal. So what changes do you see?
It's like whole wheat.
Ah, exactly.
Whole wheat and looks like a smaller hamburger.
No cheese in it. Smaller. That's very good. I didn't actually expect anyone to get it. I expected to tell you that it was a quarter pounder versus a half pound in the other one. Yes. And the other one had cheese, and this one doesn't have cheese. Very observant. Okay, what else?
Big, thick tomato on there.
Okay.
And coleslaw.
Coleslaw, some beans, and some beans. And I know that looks way more than a half a cup, but we're going to count it as a half a cup of beans. Okay. And what else? What's different with the cookies?
Half the cookies.
Only 2.
Okay.
Yeah,
only 2 versus 4.
Okay.
All right. All right. So with those changes, now we have upped the fiber content to 13 grams of fiber. And we've lowered the calories to 940. All right. You want to do better than 940?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see what else we can do. Now what changes do you see?
What is that? Are those apples or potatoes? What are those?
Okay. So these are
carrots.
Oh, potatoes. Not grilled. What do you call it? Roasted. Roasted veggies.
Roasted veggies.
Yes.
Which I love roasted veggies. Those are great.
Okay.
Is it chicken on the hamburger?
Okay. Good observation that it's different. This is actually a vegetarian burger.
Vegetarian burger.
Okay. It's actually a quinoa burger. But anyway,
how about the ones that
you can get them in the grocery store.
How about the ones that what is it? Subway has the veggie?
Yeah.
Are they good?
They're good.
Yeah, but I mean,
are you talking about taste or are you talking about health?
Health.
You know, interesting enough, if you get a foot-long Subway, you know, sandwiches are not the best thing in the world.
No, they
for
sure
us.
aren't.
You get a foot-long with mayonnaise and then all veggies, and I don't think this is even calculated with cheese. It's a 900-calorie sandwich, a foot long.
The foot long.
And that's with the veggie patties. And that's 2 veggie patties in there. So if you're going to do the veggie patty, do yourself a favor. Get the half.
That's what I always get.
You don't get the full foot. Okay, so then you're looking at 450 calories.
Wow. Okay. That's a lot. It's probably got those GMO things on there, too.
So this is a smaller patty.
Okay.
All right.
Made from a grain.
All right. We kept our beans. And we did away with our cookies, and what did we add in its place?
Pear.
All right. And the dressing on the coleslaw is going to add some calories as well. So these are just roasted veggies. All right. And so then our total now is 20 grams of fiber because it's a vegetarian burger. That's the difference, I'm telling you. A lot of the difference, of course, you don't have. Pear has 4 grams of fiber in it, compared to the 0 in the cookies, or 1. And then you have 495 calories. We can deal with that, right?
That's good. Yeah.
We can deal with that.
And that's a good amount of food. And it's not all salad.
That's right. That's right.
Actually, I love salad.
So when we talk about Subway and these other places, just to put a plug in towards the later on in our program, towards the end, we're actually going to be looking at restaurant menus and being able to pick from restaurant menus. And one of the restaurants menus that are being out is Subway. So that's why I happen to know that information.
That's good.
But you're welcome to bring your own favorite restaurant menu, and we can use that.
Well, one I like here is that Grandma's cornbread and beans. I really like that.
Okay. So if you'd like to bring a menu from there, that'd be great.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. I'll give you warning. I'll let you know when we're going to do that. Okay? All right. So now let's look at the difference between Burger Meal 1 and Burger Meal 3. All right. We had a half-pound burger with cheese on a white bun, potato chips, and 4 cookies, totaling 4 grams of fiber and 1,365 calories. Then, meal number 3, we gave it a kickstart, and we changed the hamburger to a veggie burger on a whole wheat bun, roasted vegetables, beans, and pears, and a pear, for 20 grams of fiber and 495 calories. All right?
Amazing.
That's a
Which
lot of
one
food
fits
for
the
fiber.
75%?
Number 2. Or 3, I guess.
Yeah. And then which one actually had more eye appeal, was more colorful, was more attractive?
Well, all the vegetables.
Right.
Number 3.
Yeah.
Okay. God made our healthy food to be attractive.
Yeah.
Right? So remember that as you're making your meals. Make them pretty.
Make
Make
it pretty.
good eye appeal. We actually you said, what about our nose? Yeah, smelling our food. We eat with our eyes too. We will relish a meal much better if it actually has some beauty included into it.
Okay.
Eat the rainbow.
Eat the rainbow. I'm going to be sending you an email on the rainbow. Talking about food, just to clarify. All right, so this is a classic example of what happens to calories when we fill our plate with Kickstart foods. As the fiber and water content increases, what happens to the calories? They go down. What happens to the health benefit? It goes up. Okay. We increase the health power and decrease the calories. Okay. We increase the healing power. All right. So with this type of meal, you get what you're trying to accomplish: improve your health, gain the energy, have more zest for life without being encumbered with disease or dis-ease. That's what disease is being in a state of dis-ease. All right? So Kickstart Foods will help you be successful in your journey to start a new you. All right. So what surprised you most about kickstarting these meals?
You get a lot of food, and you get fewer calories, and it's fun, and they're pretty to look at.
Yeah, that was all good. Wow. When I think about losing weight, I think about, salad and just vegetables, and you had a lot of things that were still substantial on your palate and in your stomach, beans and roasted vegetables and things that are nice tasting, that are not working on your psychology, that you're depriving yourself of those things that you used to like.
We don't want any deprivation. We don't want those feelings like, oh, I'm on a diet. Do diets work?
No.
That was one of the emails I sent you.
No.
Still go over those emails. I know now you have 7 all at once, or you will have 7 all at once, but still go through those emails because there's still a lot of information. A lot of the information I understand is old information because it was talking about our cleanse and helping you get through the cleanse. So that's not pertinent anymore, and I'm so sorry that happened. But go back through. There's a lot of other information there, so when you do get to receive them, don't just discard them because they're old. Go back through because there's going to be some good information there for you.
You know what I like about this whole program? I'm just kind of putting this in there. Is that, like I told you when I first came, I've gone through all these diet plans. I've done all the prepackaged foods. I've gone through the Weight Watchers. And don't get me wrong, I did lose weight on Weight Watchers. But they didn't tell you about things like cottage cheese and what it does to you. They didn't tell you about what a lot of meat does to you and canned tuna fish. And they don't tell you those things. They just want you to eat certain amounts. That's what they want you to eat. But it's not necessarily that it's good for you.
But it's great for their pockets because they keep you for the long haul.
and go to the grocery store and get Weight Watchers.
I'm actually trying to help you and, let you move on with life. And, they do have their place, and it might get you a good little start. But it's really understanding. It's having knowledge that's going to help you be able to make the intelligent decisions and not just have to buy their particular items that they're wanting to sell. And diets, as soon as we start using the word outside of what we eat, because we'll talk about a diet. In our diet, we do this. But if we talk about going on a diet, immediately we conjure up the concept that I'm starting a diet, and if I'm starting, then there's an end point. And as soon as we end, what happens?
You go back to doing what you were doing before.
Right?
Exactly. And then it comes right back. But it's worse because if you haven't done the whole program where you're addressing all the laws of health like water, as we've discussed today, then you're decreasing your metabolism level. And that's only hurting the whole process. So if you actually lose weight at a slow rate, if you allow your body to adjust to what you're actually doing, we're not asking you to completely give up pizza right now. We're not completely saying you can't ever have a hamburger. We're trying to make it so that you can take the one step that is right for you to become healthier. And then as you do that, it can be a sustainable change instead of something that you're just going to do for a fixed amount of time and then forget. The only time we tell you what to do in this program and Abundant Health Now program, the only time we tell you what to eat is during the Kickstart to a New You cleanse. That's it. And we're already past that. And now you get to choose and make the intelligent decisions. We better move on. Let's ask this last question for discussion, and then we're going to do some exercise. We'll discuss a little bit about exercise and then do it some more. All right? So our, okay. I couldn't read it correctly. Okay, the meals that we've just put up, are they a meal that you would actually eat?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Some of them, maybe.
Some.
I understand if you don't like hamburgers and you don't like pizza.
Yeah,
I love
that
pizza,
either.
but I don't eat it.
It's a good question. Is it a bad thing? Like, I don't have a problem not eating bread and not eating pastas.
Okay.
That doesn't bother me at all. Okay. Can I not do that? I mean, can I just leave that out of my diet completely, or is that bad for you?
You can leave bread out of your diet. Bread is not a necessity for life. I don't recommend taking all grains out. So if you're going to take grains out, like a lot of people are now wanting to go gluten-free and things like this, we need to make sure that there's some sort of grain in there that is gluten-free, that's still going to provide you with a high content of B vitamins. Grains are very powerful for our brains. We need to make sure that we get the B vitamins in that are going to help regulate our mood, keep us happy.
Okay.
We don't want to completely eliminate all grain from our diet.
Okay, I'll have to look for that. Okay.
All right. But there's plenty of alternatives to wheat. You have millet is a great grain. You have quinoa. That's another one that's really fabulous. And then if you're not gluten intolerant, you can still do the oats and the rye and the barley and things like this. Yeah.
I was wanting to ask about rice. Is some rice wheat filled?
No. Well, only if you buy the prepackaged containers and they have pasta included in with the rice, then yes. But the actual rice, is it contaminated with wheat? Traditionally, no, it's not. Okay. So on the package, you could read, it might be prepared in a facility that processes wheat. Well, then, yes, it could be contaminated. And that's actually how oats are contaminated. Oats don't actually have gluten in them in and of themselves, but the same plants that process the wheat process the oats, and so that's why they have to be labeled as gluten-containing.
Okay. I didn't know that either.
All right, so can you exercise? We already addressed this, but we'll just go over it quickly. Can I exercise to eat the meal number one? While exercising is extremely important, you cannot exercise to eat or lose weight by exercise alone. Okay? And we'll actually be going over this throughout our program, helping you understand that concept. Exercise, very important. One of the best things we can do for mood regulation, to be happy, to energize our bodies, even when we're tired, if we'll get up and do a sprint or go for a walk or do some sort of physical manual labor, it actually will give us energy instead of depleting energy from us. Exercise is very powerful. It's one of our healing elements, habits of health that we need to include in our lives. If you want to reverse disease, then you need to exercise and also fill your plate with at least 75% of the Kickstart foods. And you need to start working up. And we're doing this in our targets, okay, each week. Are you guys looking at that? What's the target for exercise for next week?
An hour, isn't it?
40 minutes. 40 minutes.
40 minutes.
40 minutes a day.
This week.
Okay, so we're building up to what you just said, which was 60 minutes a day. That's what's going to be, that's what's going to be the best for our health. Okay? All right. Let's get an exercise report before we do our coconut stretch.
83.5 miles.
83.5 miles
Woo-hoo.
total.
Yay.
All right. So we can, we'll add that to our chart. Okay. All right. Let's do another coconut stretch. Help us all wake up. Right? That was a long time for sitting. Okay, you ready? C, O, C, O, N, U, T. Rolling forward. Rolling back. And squat down. Five, 6, 7, one more. 8. Good job. Good job. All right. All right, sure. Go ahead. We'll take a little break here. Drink your water.
It's so fascinating learning about this stuff.
Yeah.
I have been taught so many things that are just wrong. They're just wrong.
It's very interesting.
All those processed places wanting to get your money more than make you healthy.
Yeah.
Yes, I think you're right.
And people who over-exercise, because it's like my sister who is anorexic bulimic, okay? So she goes out and puts huge amounts of food in her body, okay? And if she does purge or whatever, then the rest of it she thinks she can exercise off and does extreme exercises all the time. But that's not really good either. It's not, I mean, it just catches up with you eventually. And so in her mind,
it's devastating to the body, actually.
Still, and it